I will be rebuttaling JT's statements. First of all, wouldn't it bring up the question to raise the driving age to get a license? Because you're saying that our brains are still developing and that we're still learning how to drive. So wouldn't it be much more ideal to raise the driving age or to when to get a permit and a license? So currently at the age of 15, you can get your written license or your written permit, and then potentially at the age of 16 you can get your license. But that leads to more hazards on the road because once you turn 16 or have your license for a full year, you're able to drive without anyone in the car, which leads to more risks that can happen by yourself. Whereas when you are older, such as now, you have more ideal or more realistic factors to take in when driving. And then even then, freshmen have like the most incidents, the freshmen in college have the most incidents of driving because they're away from home and they don't know the area and they're unfamiliar. So it doesn't quite make sense to have it based off of the mental or the readiness of driving when it should be actually higher driving age or a more reasonable age to learn how to drive. Another is that there's more accessibility to alcohol at a house than there is at a concert because they do check your license or your IDs at music festivals, whereas at home it's your parents' stuff, and that's why it's most accessible to students or to teenagers. And that was coming from the CDC that claimed that there is more possibilities of teenagers drinking at home rather than going out to ask someone to get alcohol. And then it also applies to the rule that like once you're an adult, you're always an adult. So you can't really justify that at the age of 18 you aren't considered adult. You are considered adult. You can't change that. There's no rules that can change that. There's no law that can change that. You are considered an adult. And the judgments that you make are based on how you were raised, what you have experienced, or like what peer pressure you have. So you can't bring up the idea that, well, we're not ready, but you're an adult. You have to hold to your own responsibilities. And then there's also the idea about how like there's much more causes of being killed in the army or the military. So there's like 49.6% of Americans who are enlisted who are 25 years or younger, which equivalently is 540,000. Whereas in 2014, there was only 8,454 accidents that involved teenagers from 14 to 25 with a 0.8 BAC.